Page 136, Morning. This is from a suite by Grieg. 3/4 time, there's one flat, there's an F major or D minor. Well, if you look at the end, it's ending on an F chord. I figure it's an F major probably. Let's take it one hand at a time to get the fingering and the rhythm and the notes. They want a 4 here, so you're in this position. Don't forget the B flat. 1, 2, 3. They want you to cross over for the F. Really, we need all of this covered. So, and we want to connect this, so we can't use thumb on both. So we cross over. Just relax and cross over. So hopefully, you'll get good at it eventually. You get a lot of practice at it. Two and 3 in. Then you lift up and you do the same thing an octave higher. Now watch out on measure 14. You're here and then a thumb on the A because we got an E coming up and a B natural. We just went into A sharp or A major. Isn't that nice? Okay. Then you lift up and come down. Just it's like between phrases when you do that, except now you're going to move. So you're here, lift up. You might have to practice that. And you now we're in A major, believe it or not. Now, last 2 measures here at the bottom of page 136. Eighth notes 2, 3, 1, 2. Again, because we need to be in this position. We got here to here, and this is how we do it. Because we have an F crossover, and then an A chord. That's tied for 2 measures. Then again, that's tied, and then again, and then here, and the C chord, and that's tied, and then measure 33. You lift up, and that they give you the letter names for the ledger lines. See, the first ledger line is an A, and then a C, and an E, and that is the 4th ledger line. That's a G. If you have to, well, they put the note name in the note, but if you have to, just pencil in a G. So when you get a lot of ledger lines, I can't look at them and know how many there are. I have to stop and count them. And I have to figure it out. Well, if I do that, I take a pencil and I write in the name of the note, because I don't want to have to figure it out every time. So if you need to, take a pencil and write in it's a G way up here. So you're here, you lift up. You're doing, and then come down, and finish it off. Left hand, start with an F chord, and it's tied forever, and then another one, measure 6, thumb comes up, and then down again. Got a lot of these F chords till you get to measure 15. Now it's an A chord. Remember we went into A major. Measure 22, the F thumb comes up. Isn't that nice? Oh, that sounds wonderful. And you think, well, wait a minute, if we're in A major, why isn't that an F sharp? Because there's an F sharp in A major. Well, we didn't really go into A major, but we're using the harmony of A major for this part, but it's not totally A major, so it's we got an F natural. It's okay. It's okay, really. And then quarter note. The left hand gets the melody. Well, isn't that nice? If you're struggling, because we're using awkward fingers here, because if you're practicing the scales like you should be practicing, then this shouldn't be as awkward if you're doing the technique. So go real slow at first and collapse the wrist on each note. Let the weight push the note down, not the finger. I'm just lowering which finger I want to play, but it's the weight that's pushing the note down. And I'm just walking on the keyboard here with the fingers. And you speed it up a little bit, maybe you only drop the wrist at the beginning of the measure. But I'm still using weight to push the notes down. I'm just transferring the weight from finger to finger. I'm not holding the hand still and trying to use the fingers for this. I don't recommend it. And then when you get to measure 29, they want you to cross over. And that 3 ledger lines above treble clef is a G. If you have to, take a pencil and write it in, but in my opinion, 3 ledger lines you should know. You just know that's a G. Now they give you the treble clef. They could have given you a treble clef before, but okay. It's a C chord. And then measure 37 is nothing, but measure 38 you got to come up here because you're still treble clef. And then you come down here, and then you get your bass clef back. Now measure 37, look out here, because you got the C chord coming down, and the hands are kind of in the way. So you're up here, but in measure 39, you want the same chord but with the right hand. So you get the right hand over it, just hover over it so it's ready to go. So the moment the left hand is done with that, you're right there ready to go and the left hand gets out of the way. Like so. Put the hands together. All right. The left hand stays there so you can focus on the right hand. Now the left hand's got to move. Come down. That's really the piece over and over, that kind of melody going, you're just going around in various places. Articulation wise, it's very connected, very smooth. You can lift up between the phrases in the right. I don't recommend it. I think just play it all legato. You don't always lift up before and after a slur. And these are more slurs than phrases. So I would just connect it. And when you get to measure 8 on that dotted chord, that's ending a phrase. Now you can lift, well, you have to lift up, you gotta move. It's like taking a breath. Otherwise, I would connect all this together here. I connect it all. Just play it all legato pretty much, except if you can figure out what the phrases are, you can lift up between the phrases. But otherwise, don't worry about it. The pedal's going to cover it up anyway. Maybe. Now, measure 39, there's a retardando there. You're going to slow down a little bit. So it's starting at measure 37. Slow down. Then you get the odd tempo to take off. Now, you don't have to immediately just take off. It's because you slow down. Sometimes you do it that way and sometimes you don't. You can actually start slower and speed up. So you're 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. It's like slow down and then you just take off again. It's not a sudden boom. It's different ways of interpreting the music. Sometimes you will boom and take off again. Other times, this is a gentle piece, so I don't recommend any booms here. You just, here, slow down. So take this first measure to get back up. So do it gently, speed up gently there. Dynamic-wise, it's morning, it's soft. All right? We're not going to war here, it's just we're waking up. You can smell the coffee. Soft. You don't have to play the whole thing right, it's soft. You can get a little louder and softer as you feel it, but you got to get to know it well enough that you can feel it first. And then you come up a little bit to, just a little bit to sort of soft. That's the right hand. Left hand stays soft. And then on third line down, you're going to crescendo up to up a little bit to moderately loud. There, that's moderately loud. Don't get there until so it's a little louder, louder. Come back down. Come back down to moderately soft or soft. And then measure 17, you're moderately loud. The left hand's soft. Then on measure 25, the dynamic switch for the hands. Now the left hand gets moderately loud, the right hand's soft. And they put the arrow, the crescendo arrow, there on the second line above the staves because there isn't room between them. They do that sometimes. It's not meaning only the top staff gets loud. The melody is going to crescendo. And the right hand can go a little louder, but it's got to stay under the left hand because the left hand has the melody. Now you're loud. Now it's the right hand that's loud. Don't get vulgar here. I mean, it's hard to get loud when you're up. So don't get too loud. It's loud, sort of. The left hand is sort of moderately soft here. Then at measure 37, you start loud, and then come down moderately soft, moderately loud, moderately soft, soft. So I'm taking it each measure at a time. I'm just coming down a step at a time. Loud, moderately loud, moderately soft, soft, very soft. That's the right hand. The left hand is super duper soft. Just notice the left hand changed notes. Isn't that nice of them? Right hand, hold it down all the way to the end. Sort of. That's the dynamics. As I said, you got to get to know it and be comfortable enough with it that you start feeling these dynamics, because you're not going to stay at one exact level for very long. You're going a little louder and softer as you feel it. Speed-wise, this is a slow piece. Of course, it's all relative, so it's slow to you. I mean, they say moderately slow, not too slow is what it is. It's on the slow side of moderate. It's about where I've been playing it, I think. You can find recordings of the orchestra doing this piece. I suggest you just listen. Don't just listen to one recording. Listen to several, because they'll do it differently. They'll interpret it differently, and that's where the beauty comes in. You get ideas from listening to the different interpretations on what you can do in this piece. Now we want lots of overtones. It's an orchestral piece. And we got to connect it. So we're going to use pedal to make it all connected, because we can't connect these chords, and we want to, and we want the overtones. But we don't want to smear it, so we have to be careful. It's kind of a balance between the two. How many overtones do you want, or how connected do you want, versus how smeary can you tolerate? I don't tolerate a lot of smeariness. This Faber tolerates a lot, because they're telling you just legato pedal all the way through. If I pedal this the way they're showing, this is what it sounds like. I don't want to play it all, but part of it. Sounds okay to you, go for it. Or if you're struggling, you're kind of not sure, go for it. But I would prefer, I mean, this is kind of a misty piece anyway. It's kind of a dreamy piece, so we can tolerate a little more blurring than normal. So this part, however, I am still going to use more of a legato pedaling just to connect the chords. So here, I'm going to wait maybe and just pedal the third beat of each measure. What happens if I just do the third beat? There, it's a little bit different. It's like no pedal at all. I'm just connecting the left hand, really. Maybe you want more overtones than that. Okay, how about this? Supposing I do the opposite, I pedal the first 2 beats and not the third. Something like that. See, on this piece it doesn't work real well for piano. I'm trying to balance it out between keeping it clean and having a nice overtones and pedaling connected. So I'm tempted to say, okay, let's just keep it simple and we can pretty much pedal it just like it's shown and we'll just live with the overtone. I'm tempted on the other hand, maybe I don't pedal the first beat. That's a little cleaner, but maybe that cuts out too much overtone, because now I turn the overtones off on the main beat, on the first beat of the measure. That's the most important beat. And it's like that one has no overtones, but everything else does. It's like it's backwards. When I experiment with the pedal and try different things out, nothing works. This is just not a piano piece. So I suggest go ahead and pedal it the way it is and leave it blurry and just know that it's a misty, dreamy morning. You're not awake yet, haven't had your first pot of coffee yet, you're not ready. So I'd like to play this with you very slowly to double check the notes and the rhythms. I'm not going to do the dynamics. I'm going to leave the pedal out. You can do the pedal, I mean it's pretty straightforward, it's just overlapping throughout. But I think you can hear the notes better if I don't pedal it. So I'll give us 3 counts, let's just do it slowly together. 1, ready, go. 3. 3,